Again here tonight is the Tigers, well, I guess utility man with all the positions he has played. Now the new left fielder out there. He had left tonight, and so we'll see if he gets any plays here defensively. Meanwhile, Ichiro is getting set to lead it off, and here's the first pitch of the ball game from Verlander, and it's fouled back out of play by Ichiro, who had 4 hits in the ball game last night. He was 4 for 5, and he also stole a base. Batting a robust .365. Verlander's 0-1 pitch. Make it 0-2 on Ichiro.
A couple of well-located fastballs by Verlander on the outside black. And to Ichiro, which is the pitch you can get away with because he kind of cheats and runs down that first baseline as he's swinging.
Very pleasant evening here tonight. It is 80 degrees. Fans still filing into this one, settling into their seats. And another nice night for baseball, though a little bit overcast. Tigers won the opener in an exciting fashion last night, a comeback win. 1-2 on Ichiro.
Looks like Verlander may be coming out with the same game plan he had against the Boston Red Sox 5 days ago, where the majority of the pitches that Verlander threw were mid-90s fastballs.
1-2, he blew him away at 97 on the gun, 1 away, and that's his first strikeout.
And here's a little bit of what we saw. We saw a dominant pitching performance. Now, he threw that last pitch of the game, the 123rd pitch of the afternoon, was at 123 miles an hour, and you could see the majority of the fastballs were up in the strike zone. I think Verlander did that by design. We'll see if he wants to attack Seattle the same way, or if he's going to work down at the bottom of the strike zone with his fastball today.
Here is the number 2 hitter, Russell Branyan. He's batting .256, and there's a fastball at 93 at the bottom of the strike zone.
Verlander has already touched 97 here in the very first inning. That strikeout to Suzuki.
Typically, in the past, when Verlander was 96, 97, 98, early in the game, the results weren't really all that good, but not so against Boston.
I read something after that start he had in Boston against the Red Sox, where Verlander said he has finally come to the realization that he is a power pitcher. And when he goes out there, he's not going to hold anything back, regardless of what the inning is. He's going to go as hard as he can, as long as he can. And that's why we saw so many fastballs 5 days ago in the mid-90s.
Boy, he has just dusted Russell Branyan, his second strikeout. What a start tonight for Verlander. Wow.
He is nothing nice. Unbelievable. And the numbers, they speak for themselves.
Opponents batting just .235 against him. 3 complete games this year. And Lopez taking his time getting into the batter's box. He'll take his hacks now against Verlander. Fastball outside, 1-0.
You know you're watching something special when the other team has just about every single member on their bench standing up along the rail watching Verlander work. Usually big leaguers are sort of sitting down, kind of chilling, getting ready to do whatever they do. But Verlander gets them up. So that's an indication of how good he is.
It's kind of like watching a car crash from their point of view. The 1-1 is lifted in the air. Left side of the infield, Santiago to the grass, and an easy 1-2-3 inning for Justin Verlander. Nothing across. We'll go to the bottom of the first. No score. big boy. Curtis Granderson leads it off in center, followed by Placido Polanco. Good home numbers this year. Carlos Guillen in left field. Miguel Cabrera cleaning up. The newcomer, Aubrey Huff, again the DH, batting fifth, followed by Maglio in right tonight. You've got Inge, Laird, and Santiago as your bottom three. Bernstein Advantage brings you the scouting report on Ian Snell. Get the Bernstein Advantage. We go to bat for you.
Jack Zarensik, in his first year as general manager in Seattle, really likes Snell, and he's one of the reasons why he came over from Pittsburgh in that deal that also got them a starting shortstop in Jack Wilson. But he struggled mightily this year in Pittsburgh. They sent him down to the minor leagues before Seattle acquired him, and he's had command issues in his first three starts with Seattle.
Well, Curtis Granderson behind in the count, 0-2 to start things off. Grandy batting .256, hitless in the ball game last night. How about the starting matchup last night and those two guys battling each other?
Porcello was tremendous, and young Felix, King Felix, was sensational.
The 0-2 or the 1-2 is fouled straight back. 1-2 the count stays on Granderson.
And it looks like we're in for a little bit more of that tonight with the way that Verlander was looking in the very first inning against Seattle.
Snell at 93 missed outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
It's one of the things Aubrey Huff was saying after the game last night. He was saying that his teammates in Baltimore, they thought the Tigers had the best starting rotation in baseball.
2-2 the count stays. Well, I also heard Aubrey in a soundbite driving in today, one of the interviews he did locally here, saying that you know, I was sitting on the bench last night. Rodney was out there with 2 guys on, 2 guys out. He said, it's been a while since I was really into a game that late and was nervous and hoping to get a win.
He said he felt like he was in college again, which is a good thing.
Polanco waiting on deck. Grandy has run it to 3-2, and he takes strike 3. Thought he had himself ball 4.
Take a look at the defense behind Snell in the ball game. You've got Saunders getting a start in left tonight. You've got Gutierrez, can cover a lot of ground in right. Ichiro, he is what he is, which is a really good player. Hanahan, Josh Wilson back at short today. Lopez and Branyan at second and first, respectively. And here are the numbers on Snell in the 3 games he's had with Seattle. 12 walks in 13 innings, and of course, that defense always brought to you by Honda Bloomfield.
2 of his starts not so good. His first one was all right. Polanco with a count of 2 balls, no strikes.
He looks like he got a pretty firm fastball today, anywhere from 90 to 93. That 93 he struck Granderson out with.
Hammer to the gap in left center field. It's down, a base hit. Polanco is on with a 1-out single.
Polanco could just slice the baseball all over the place.
The Tigers have the game's first hit, and that'll bring up the number 3 hitter and the former Seattle Mariner, Carlos Guillen.
What a deal that was that landed Carlos in the Tiger Whites with the old English D. And one of the better deals that David Nabrowski has made since he has been a Tigers general manager, and he's made quite a few.
That deal involved Ramon Santiago, who is now back with the Tigers, and a minor leaguer, not the real Juan Gonzalez, but the minor leaguer by the name of Juan Gonzalez. And so that deal turned out to be quite a heist. 0-1 on Guillen. Carlos 0 for 3 in the ball game last night. Snell missing inside and low. Ian Snell stands only 5'11". He's 198, born in Dover, Delaware. This season with Pittsburgh, he made 15 starts. You see the numbers there. In fact, the Tigers faced him when he was with Pittsburgh in interleague play this year. Tipped into the glove of Kenji Jojima, 1-2.
Ian Snell, and I brought it up in Pittsburgh, is one of just a handful of few African-American starting pitchers in the major leagues. CC Sabathia would be another one. And of course, the Tigers have one here in Edwin Jackson. Not many African American born players pitching in the big leagues these days as starters.
Well, the ones you rattled off are pretty good.
Tremendous. Really good players.
Meanwhile, Guillen is out via the strikeout. That's the second for Snell.
Looks like he's got some movement with that fastball. It's a nice frame job there by Jojima, who's getting the nod behind the plate today. That ball was tailing away, but he caught it and kind of held it there and gave Larry Vanover a really nice long look at it.
Here's Miguel Cabrera. Big night last night, 3 for 4 with 2 huge RBIs to put the Tigers ahead late.
When you see him do what he was able to do against Hernandez in the game last night, albeit they were singles, it gives you an idea of just how good he is. Number one pitchers, legitimate number one pitchers on other teams, they do not bother Cabrera at all. Cabrera was also talking about that at bat last night, the big one that he got, the base hit up the middle. He said he just relaxed and he allowed Lowe to supply the power. He tried not to do too much, and it worked into his favor.
That's a foul tip that apparently got Jojima. He's dancing around behind home plate. 0-2 on Cabrera.
And Cabrera said he was telling himself that while the inning was unfolding, while he was sitting on the bench. And he took a page out of Albert Pujols' book.
And it's probably a good lesson for young kids and young hitters that you can't squeeze the sawdust out of the bat. You can't be tense when you're hitting.
Especially when a guy was throwing as hard as Lowe was throwing. 96, 97 with that fastball he was featuring in the 8th. But it was straight. That fastball Hernandez was throwing was darting all over the place at 95.
The 0-2 pitch. Ooh, 1-2 on Miguel Cabrera. Well, the Pirates signed Snell to a 5-year deal last year with a couple of option years at the tail end of that contract, and all of a sudden he's in Seattle now.
Well, it kind of speaks volumes to what Seattle thinks of him for Jack Zaremski to take on that contract.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you could look at it the other way and say, well, you know, the Pirates apparently had big plans for this guy and then changed their minds, but Seattle certainly has seen something in him. July the 29th, right before the deadline, they consummated that big deal. Jack Wilson also came over. Jojima blocks that one. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Cabrera.
Jojima throws well from behind the dish. As a matter of fact, he's second only to Gerald Laird in throwing out base runners this year as far as the number that he has thrown out. So he's tough to run on.
He's got that ever familiar red glove that clashes with the Seattle colors. Another block. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
17 he has caught this year, 33 attempts, 52%.
Wow, that's good. Laird has actually thrown more runners out, but Jojima has the better percentage. Huff waiting on deck. The runner will start here on 3-2, and it's low, ball 4. So Cabrera gets a walk. After falling behind 0-2, he gets the base on balls, and that sets up Aubrey Huff. This is something you talked about last night with Cabrera hitting ahead of Huff. Aubrey's going to get himself a lot of RBI chances down the stretch here.
Aubrey said he has never played with a player the caliber of a Miguel Cabrera, and he's looking forward to hitting behind him and trying to provide some type of protection for him.
So he is up there now with 2 men on, 2 men out.
Obviously, we have not seen all that much of Huff, but we have seen this familiar shift that Seattle defenders are playing right now in the infield on several left-handed hitters this year. You've got Wilson, the shortstop, almost directly behind the bag at second. Lopez is shaded over in the hole on the right side of the infield, and Branyan is really hugging that line down at first.
talking to Aubrey before the game about that ball he hit in his last at bat, and I asked him what it had been out of Camden Yards, and he said it had been close, at least off the wall. He said a lot of my stuff goes to center field, and even though it's 420 here, I can't change the way I go about my business.
He better figure out something else.
You see a spray chart, a lot of it is to center and to right field.
Good pitch. Good changeup there by Snell. Well, if anybody can help Snell get back on track, it's Rick Adair, the pitching coach of the Seattle Mariners, who has done a really good job in his first tenure in that capacity with the new staff under Don Wakamatsu.
Here's the 1-2 in the air to center. Gutierrez backing up, and true to the scouting report, Huff is out to center field. Tigers get a couple of runners, strand 2. We go to the second. $19.49. Your Motor City Dodge dealers. Comcast with over 10,000 on-demand choices, and most are free. And by Arby's Bacon Cheddar Roast Burger Sandwich. Try it today. It'll have you saying, I'm thinking Arby's. Back here at Comerica Park. We're in the top of the second now. The Tigers and the Seattle Mariners. No score in this one. Justin Verlander, a dominant first inning, goes back to work in the second, facing Ken Griffey Jr. He'll be followed by Franklin Gutierrez and Jack Hanahan.
And Verlander looked differently attacking Ken Griffey Jr. than Porcello. Porcello was elevating lots of fastballs yesterday to Griffey, as Verlander just did there on the strike one pitch.
And now it's strike two. Porcello was about as good as we have seen him this year yesterday.
Made one bad pitch, and that was a changeup, but you still have to give their shortstop Wilson credit because you still have to hit it. But if Porcello could do it all over again, he would most definitely change that pitch pattern.
Showing the promise of what the Tigers had hoped late in the season. That's the encouraging thing. The 1-2. Driven to center field. Granderson is there. One out.
Curtis Granderson was chopping it up pretty good with Ken Griffey Jr. before the game during batting practice, and Granderson has said that Jr. was his idol growing up from a baseball standpoint. Of course, Curtis grew up in Chicago, and he also loved Walter Payton. Sweetness.
He was pretty good, wasn't he?
Oh, you think he wasn't?
Here's Franklin Gutierrez. Ball one. Franklin batting .291, 0 for 3 in the ball game last night.
Here's another nice deal Seattle made, getting Gutierrez from the Cleveland Indians.
It's driven foul. It's a 3-team deal that involved 12 players, and Jack Zarensik said, really, we made that deal based on this guy right here, this is the guy we really wanted.
Cleveland did not want to give him up either. It went down to the final hours of negotiating, and finally they gave up Gutierrez in that deal. And there are some that say that one of the reasons why Cleveland did give Gutierrez up in that deal is because they wanted to keep J.J. Putz away from the Tigers. The Tigers had interest in J.J. Putz, who went to the Mets and is now injured.
Yeah, Putz ended up in New York in that deal, and there were a ton of players that switched uniforms. But teams will do that. If they identify a guy that might be signing or being traded to another team, they will try and do anything they can.
JV's got that real nice, slow curveball that he's commanding early here today.
There's a strike call. They try to hold up, and Verlander has picked up another strikeout. That'll be his third. So 5 up, 5 down against JV. Nice try. He tried to pull it back. No dice. Here's Hanahan. Former Tiger batting .218. Hanahan made it to the big leagues with the Tigers in '06. Was 0 for 9 with Detroit. His first taste of the big league level came up in the Tigers organization. And has since gotten opportunities with a couple of different systems. Of course, Oakland, we talked about how he replaced Eric Chavez and has replaced Adrian Beltre now here in Seattle. He's on the deal. 3-0. Pitch is in for a strike. Three and 1 on Jack Hanahan. 3 and 2. Kenji Jojima waiting on deck. Big rip there, and a good rip by Hanahan. Played his college ball in the Big Ten at the University of Minnesota. Verlander trying to put him away here. Justin came in lifetime. Good numbers against Seattle. 6-2 career in 8 starts. Fly ball hit well to left, but straight at Carlos Guillen. He's right there. And a 1-2-3 inning for Verlander. You're watching Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit, presented by Bell Tire.
the Detroit Tigers back in June and just signed yesterday. And he was here before the game throughout the first pitch, actually. He's with his brother Aaron and his mom Julie here at the baseball game, taking in some action. I talked to Bruce before the game. Bruce is on a plane out to Arizona, where the Cleveland Indians have one of their minor league affiliates, so Dad couldn't be here tonight.
Maglio leads it off here for the Tigers. Now, is that the same little Daniel Fields that we saw hanging around the ballpark?
He is a man.
He is huge.
I mean, he is some kind of big, strong.
There's David Dabrowski.
He already looks like a big leaguer. I watched him walk around the field today, and he's got some broad shoulders, and he's got some height, he's got some strength. And they think he's going to be an impact offensive player, and he plays shortstop.
They told him, hey, put on a big smile. You're on TV.
Yeah. It didn't take long.
3-1. Ian Snell facing Maglio Ordonez and Brandon Inge and Gerald Laird. And there's ball 4. Maglio gets a walk. The second walk for Snell. The other was Cabrera. He's going to bring up Brandon Inge. Inge 0 for 3 last night, batting .246 with 23 home runs. 2 of them here in the second half. For a while there, Brandon was leading the team in RBIs until he was overtaken by Cabrera. Here's ball 1.
Mario, it looks like everybody's phone's blowing up. The Uncle Lee in the front, and you got Daniel, and you got Aaron in the middle there in the white shirt, and you have the Julie, the mom, there with her glasses on, top of the head, and showing them a little love.
All right, now whoever's talking to them, right, tell them to wave into the camera. Tell them to wave right now.
Yeah, see how good they are.
We need you to wave. Let's go. See if you can get it done. No waving. All right.
They didn't get it. They didn't get the memo.
That's got to be something else.
Good looking young boy. Good looking man.
For Daniel to be sitting here and hoping that sometime soon he'll be on this field. It's a high fly ball. And the shortstop to the grass, now to the dirt, and Wilson hauls it in. That thing was hit a mile high, 1 gone. That'll bring up Gerald Laird. Laird at .224. 4 for 13 this year against Seattle pitching. Tigers 4-3 this year against the M's in the season series, with tonight's game and tomorrow's game. That's it. That'll be the last time these two teams hook up. Laird trying to snap it 0 for 14. I was doing a radio interview today, Rod, and one of the questions was, with the emergence of Alex Avila, should he be catching every day now instead of Gerald Laird? And you know, I thought, well, the one thing people I guess have to understand is the effect that Gerald has had on the pitching staff this year and what he has done defensively. That's skied in the air to shallow right field where Ichiro is camping. He'll make the play.
I would say no. I mean, obviously Avila has done a marvelous job in the games that he has played since coming up, but you cannot take for granted what Laird has done in a Tigers uniform this year. And the last thing you want to do, and I know Jim Leland's not doing this, he continues to show a lot of confidence in Laird because he knows how fragile this situation is. Tigers would not be where they are right now if it was not for Gerald Laird.
No question. And pretty much the same way I answered the question. I think it's real important to realize and recognize what Gerald has meant to this club. Now, does that mean you don't get excited about what you see out of Avila? Absolutely not. You're real excited about it.
As we know, we live in a what have you done for me lately society.
Yep.
And right now, Avila's just swinging the bat real well.
Santiago, the batter. What a key, and I mean key, base hit he had last night.
For me, that was the biggest hit of the inning. Usually after a home run is hit, that's a rally killer. late in the game. If you're low on the mound and you give that home run to Avila, you can relax a little bit. You still got a 1-run spread. You're just trying to get outs now. But after Santiago worked the count to 3-2 and then came up with that big hit, huge.
He's down 1-3 here. Tigers strand another runner. 2 in the books here tonight. Still no score. On his criteria for Cy Young.
I start with quality starts. I want to see who most often had consistent dominance throughout the year, was an ace for his ball club. I'm not big on cumulative stats like most strikeouts, most shutouts, most innings. I want to know who went out there the most times and pitched like his ace and really, really gave his team a chance to win.
Well, he'll have a vote this year, and it's interesting criteria. I think that certainly is definitely a part of how you have to vote. As Verlander misses high to Kenji Joshua.
What a top-notch pro John Lowe is.
Quality starts in the American League. There's a base hit to left field for Jojima. That is their first hit of this ball game. Here's that list again of quality starts in the American League. Greinke has 20, Felix Hernandez has 20, and Jackson has 18.
Well, according to John Lowe, then that kind of puts Edwin Jackson into the conversation.
Well, but you could make the argument that a quality start, as we know, is 6 innings, 3 earned runs or less. Now,
Jim Leland will say a quality start is winning the game.
Exactly. That's exactly right.
Give me the W. Did you shake hands or did you not shake hands?
Yep. And that's why it's so interesting to have different viewpoints and different points of view and what everybody thinks should be major criteria.
But that list kind of validates the power pitching and the young power pitching in the American League this year.
Michael Saunders, the batter, did not play in the ball game last night. Getting his first look at Verlander, and he bunts it foul.
Saunders already has 5 bunt base hits in the 18 games that he has played in a Seattle Mariners uniform. So obviously bunting is part of his game.
11th round pick of Seattle back in 2004. In fact, he was rated their number 2 prospect.
Tall, slender fella.
Showing bunt again. 1 ball, 1 strike. Bruce Hines running through the signs. Down at third.
Long-time minor league coach was Bruce Hines in the Angels organization before Wakamatsu. And gave him a chance to be on his staff.
The old school stirrups. You don't see too many guys wearing those.
Looks good on him. He's got some energy too.
Stirrups from back in your day. High fly ball, right field, shallow, coming toward the line. Maglio. Runner tagging but holding. 1 out. We kind of talked about this on the pregame show with Tigers Live. Some of the candidates. What do you think?
It's tough right now. I don't know who I would give the lead to. I mean, if you look at all the guys lead in at least one category, and one guy has more wins. CC Sabathia, not on that list, has 14 wins now. He won his ball game in Oakland last night, so we very easily could have thrown CC's name up there too. What a list. 5 real good right-handed pitchers.
Josh Wilson, the batter.
You have a favorite right now?
Ugh. You know what? The guy that pitched last night,
based on some numbers, he'd be the leader in the clubhouse right now?
He scored some big points with me, and he has really 2 key stats for me. His record after a Seattle loss, which I think is like 11-2, something along those lines. And he is in the top 5 in 3 big categories: ERA, strikeouts, and wins. And no other pitcher on that list is in the top 5 in those 3 categories.
And the one thing about Hernandez, and I don't know for sure because I didn't really dive in the numbers that much last night, but he's faced the Tigers a bunch. And I can't remember him ever having a bad start against Detroit hitters.
No.
Whereas Greinke, they've gotten him once or twice. Beckett, subpar start here or there. Same thing with Halladay, but I can't remember Felix having a bad start against Tigers since he's come to the big leagues.
The thing about Halladay is he leads the American League in complete games, and he's also pitching in that division where he's got to face the Red Sox and the Yankees a lot.
That's a great point.
Bouncing ball, base hit through the right side of the infield. On his way to second, Jojima. He will hold there. So who knows? I mean, it's obviously the final month and a half will maybe sift things out a little bit. But it's going to be a great race. And that guy right there, Felix Hernandez, will certainly be part of it. There are the numbers, the season numbers against the Tigers. No victory last night for Felix or Porcello, but both pitched well enough to win. So here's Ichiro now. Verlander has his first jam of the game. We're in the 3rd in a scoreless contest. Right off the mask of the catcher, Laird.
He has given Ichiro all fastballs in this game. He struck him out in the 1st to lead off the game with a 97-mile-per-hour fastball.
Slap back out of play, 0-2. Ichiro came into this game hitting .346 career against Verlander. And for a while there, it was going to look like that he was going to run away with the batting title. These are the updated numbers now against Verlander. But boy, Joe Mauer has really come on, and he leads the American League at .383. Last time we saw the Twins, I think Mauer was in the .360 range, wasn't he?
And getting a little tired and looking like the bat had slowed down, but apparently he has gotten his second win. He's got 25 home runs and he's hitting .380, and he was on the back page of the Minnesota paper yesterday because of Brett Favre.
Wonderful.
We'll give Mauer a little back page action.
Just because we have to. Here's Mauer at .383, then Ichiro, then Bartlett, and then Miguel.
All of a sudden, he's inching back up toward 400. 380 is remarkable anyway.
It's unreal. The 1-2. Another fastball. This one at 98, and Ichiro gets a piece of it.
And this is what Laird was doing in Boston. He puts the fastball sign down, and then he gives the high target with the glove. Verlander hit the glove, but somehow Ichiro was able to foul that ball off.
Little chin music there, and actually not all that close. 2-2.
A little too high that time by Verlander, but the glove was also up in an area where Verlander pitched against the Red Sox all day long last Thursday.
Now Laird wants time, heads out to the mound to chat with Verlander. Verlander retired the first 6 in a row, 3 of them via the strikeout, with a leadoff single here by Jojima in the third has given them a scoring opportunity. Also a base hit for Josh Wilson.
Ichiro in this situation is a lot like Polanco. He really doesn't strike out all that often, and he's got a boatload of hits, 179 of them to be exact. So he's usually a very tough out when there are runners in scoring position.
In the air toward left, playable for Guillen. Ichiro is out, and the runners hold.
Let's do a bell tire pitch by pitch. As I told you the first time up against Ichiro, all fastballs by Verlander, and he came right back after him with all fastballs in the mid to upper 90s, elevating a couple of them that Ichiro was able to foul off before finally elevating one more and getting him to pop up to left field harmlessly. All fastballs.
2 outs for Russell Branyan. Struck him out back in the first inning. Branyan 1 for 4 with a sac fly and an RBI in the ballgame last night. He's a veteran of both leagues. Broke in with Cleveland back in the late 90s. 2-0 the count.
This is where Verlander has the confidence and the ability to throw a changeup or a breaking ball for a strike when a hitter is looking for the fastball.
Instead, he gave him the heater and blew it right by him.
He sure did. That's when you know you're good. You think Verlander knows he's good?
Let me ask you a question. Were you serious with that question? The 2-1 pitch. You have to have, I'm a firm believer, you have to have some type of swagger, don't you?
He got a whole lot of that.
Level? Yeah,
yes, he does.
He's got some swagger.
He got a lot of it.
3-1. Edwin Jackson and Justin Verlander have formed quite a 1-2 in the Motor City this year. Good pitch. 3-2. Verlander continues to throw upper 90s.
It's not so much the velocity, but it's also the location. And that's a 3-1 fastball on the black outside.
Runners going and a swing and a miss. Branyan strikes out for the second time in the game. 4 for Justin overall. They strand 2. He played 2.5.
Back to you.
All right, Mickey, thank you. As we go to the bottom of the third in a scoreless game in this one, the Tigers and Seattle. Game 2 in the series, top of the order coming up. It'll be Granderson, Polanco, and Guillen. Curtis 0 for 1 with a strikeout in the first inning. Ian Snell, the 27-year-old, back to work. Strike 1 on Curtis. 1 for 8 career against Snell. And that's ball 1 down low, 1-1 the count. We were talking about the fact that Snell was sent down to the minor leagues at one point this year, and he pitched against the Tigers AAA team, the Toledo Mud Hens, and it was an unbelievable start that he had.
That's that 17 strikeout performance?
17 Ks, but the amazing thing was he struck out 13 in a row. I mean, that's unheard of.
Really?
17 strikeouts, including 13 straight. I wonder if that's ever been done before. Now, that of course, was in the minor leagues.
I don't care if you do that in Little League.
that is true.
That's special.
That's unbelievable. That's when the Pirates had sent him down. And he got a no decision in that game, believe it or not. 3-2 now on Curtis Granderson.
They should have just gave him the win for that.
Absolutely. Even if he didn't earn it. 3-2 pitch. Hammer toward left field, hit pretty good. Saunders, though, is going to get there.
Hey, fans, purchase 3 or more party suites at Comerica Park and receive postseason ticket priority. Some restrictions apply, of course. For more information, call 313-471-BALL or log on to tigers.com.
One out here in the bottom of the third. Here's Polanco. Placido tried to start something back in the first with a base hit. And he takes ball 1. Snell's best year was 2006 when he was 14-11 for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Lofted in the air toward right center field. Ichiro going back toward the triangle to make the catch. 2 gone. By the way, if you're wondering, this game is available in crystal clear high definition on Fox Sports Detroit HD, sponsored by Comcast. Stunning high definition. Now Carlos Guillen. Carlos, a strikeout victim in the first, one of 2 that Snell picked up in that first inning. Ball 1 down low. He'll go foul down the first base line. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Carlos loves that ball down in the strike zone. And that is right where he has the prettiest swing. Balls that are down and in. Most left-handers like the ball down, however.
He'll go back out of play into the seats. By the way, Greg Ennis, our MVP statistician, informs me that the major league record for most consecutive strikeouts in a major league game is 10 by Tom Seaver of the Mets in 1970.
Terrific time.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. Roll toward first, fair ball. Branyan will take it himself in a 1-2-3 inning. 3 in the books. And we go to the 4th, no score. And by AT&T, your world delivered. Back here in the Motor City, the fountains in X mode tonight. Pretty sweet. Still no score in this game as we go to the fourth inning. Justin Verlander towing the slab. He will face Jose Lopez, Ken Griffey Jr., and then Franklin Gutierrez. First pitch bounced to the shortstop on the backhand, Santiago. One away is Aflac time. Cue the duck. The Aflac Duck would like to know tonight. Willie Horton had 12 years between 100 RBI seasons. Who holds the record with 13? The hint is this person had 100 RBIs in '86 and then not again until 1998.
You nailed that answer earlier today.
Well, so I can't guess because that'll give it away, but we'll give you the answer in the bottom of the fourth. He was a really good player, as you might expect. Here's Ken Griffey. High fly ball into shallow right field. Griffey got under this one. Maglio is there, 2 gone. Willie Horton was a former Mariner as well. So 2 of the teams that he has represented kind of hanging out tonight, taking it easy.
Willie had a nice career. And what just a wonderful human being Willie is. And they just love him here in the Motor City. How could you not?
That's why he's got that statue out in left center field. Franklin Gutierrez, strikeout victim, back in the second. The hook is grounded to short. Right at Santiago. It's going to be an easy 1-2-3 inning. How about 5 pitches for Verlander here in the fourth? Again tonight, Willie Horton had 12 years between 100 RBI seasons. Who holds the record with 13? There's your hint. Here comes your answer. Willie's mulling it over. And that would be Harold Baines. Did it with the White Sox in '85 and then Baltimore and Cleveland in 1999.
Harold Baines was one of my first roommates in pro ball. We both were drafted in 1977 by the Chicago White Sox.
He came really close to 3,000 hits.
He had a wonderful career. Could really hit. Out of St. Michael's, Maryland.
Miguel Cabrera leading it off here in the fourth, then Huff and then Ordonez. Cabrera right now is sitting on 199 home runs. His His next this year will get him to a plateau at a very young age.
He looks like he's in great shape. He just looks like he's in the best shape since we've had him. He's moving real well at that first base position.
Line drive off the glove of the third baseman Hanahan. No chance to get him.
And of course he does plenty of that, laying out frozen ropes all over the ballpark. Hanahan showed some hops right here. Cabrera went down and got that breaking ball. It was down low. He went down and hit a C right at Hanahan, and Hanahan got up, but he just couldn't close the glove. Look at those hops.
Wow. Not bad. Here's Aubrey Huff. Huff fly to center field back in the first. Now 1 for 5 as a Tiger. Hit 13 home runs in Baltimore. They knocked in 72. Two balls, no strikes.
You know, we were talking about Huff the first time he came up, and he was talking about how for the first time in 10 years he felt like he was in college again because he's playing in a pennant race. And you think back to about a week ago, and Jim Leland was talking about.
There's a bouncer to second. This might be 2. Backhanded flip for 1, and the relay is in time. The double play. No. Dropped the ball at first. Got away. Safe at first base is Huff. It's a 1-on-1 out.
I don't know how Branyan missed this. Looked like Lopez probably should have took it himself, but the throw back looked like he tried to stay on the bag instead of coming off and then maybe applying the tag to Huff as he ran by. I don't know who they're going to give that air to.
Probably go to Branyan, don't you think?
That would be the logical choice. But just to finish that thought on what Jim was talking about last week, maybe.
There's a base hit. We'll get this story in.
How he was telling his players to embrace first place and embrace the pennant race. Because you have a guy in Huff who's been in the big leagues for 10 years and has never ever experienced anything like that. And he also said there's several other big league players that are retired that never ever were in pennant races. So the message he had for his club: enjoy this, play hard, enjoy it, have fun.
That's a good point. And when you look at Huff, I mean, he played in those Tampa teams that never won. He played there before they got good, and then the last couple of years in Baltimore, and they haven't done a whole lot. So here is Inge now with 2 men on. Tigers with a couple of hits in this inning. Still waiting on the ruling on that play. Off the glove of Branyan at first base. And instead of the bases being empty, the Tigers now have runners at first and second after the single by Ordonez. Inge cuts and misses, 1-1. Ian Snell out of Dover, Delaware. He lives in Bradenton, Florida. It's the spring training home of his former team, the Pirates. Swing and a miss. 1-2.
He's thrown to Inge a couple of really good breaking balls.
This guy really dominated in the minor leagues when he was a member of the Pirates. He was 58-20 in parts of 6 minor league seasons.
He's got some skills.
Pulled to third. Backhanding his Hanahan. Fires to second. 1. And it's in time for the double play. Well, they made good on that one. A much tougher double play to turn. 5-4-3. So far, so good for Justin Verlander. Again, another one of these dominating performances we've seen out of JV, but Snell really has not been bad all himself.
Well, Snell had some control issues before coming here to Comerica Park. In his first 3 starts as a Seattle Mariner, he walked 12 batters, but he's had some pretty good control today with a good breaking ball. But Verlander, he's going to be stingy, so if the Tigers score a few runs here today, they've got a nice chance of winning the game.
Not going to make fun of my pink tie?
No, I think it's kind of nice. It's sharp.
Yeah.
It's sharp.
Everybody's hammered me about it.
Why would they do that?
I don't know. Verlander back to work, and it's fouled back out of play.
You know what they say about pink?
No, what?
Real men wear pink.
Oh, okay.
Real men wear pink.
I know, you've got those pink ties. You wear them quite a bit. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Fouled away again by Jack Hanahan. Be followed by Jojima and then Michael Saunders. 5 hits total in this game.
Now the next question is, did you pick that out, or did your lovely wife pick that out?
No, that would be Kathy. She picked this one out.
Okay, thank you.
I don't have the guts to pick out a pink tie. There's strike 3 called on Jack Hanahan. 5 strikeouts for Verlander.
Breaking ball at the top of the strike zone. That's a good call there by Larry Vanover. A lot of times umpires, when they see the ball come out of the pitcher's hand high, they simply give up on that pitch, but he watched it all the way into the glove of Laird.
There's a bullet hit foul down the third base line off the bat of Kenji Jojima. He singled back in the third, 1 for 1, and now 5 for 9 career against Justin Verlander. Jojima, 33 years of age. Bouncing ball to third, off to his left, Brandon Inge. Goes high, but in time, 2 gone.
Hey fans, Saturday afternoon we're made for baseball, and this week Fox brings you the game of the week. Derek Jeter leads the Yankees into Fenway Park to battle Dustin Pedroia and the Red Sox. Fox Saturday Baseball begins at 4 p.m. on your local Fox station. Derek Jeter's on fire right now.
Boy, he sure is. In wild card standings, Boston and Texas each at 67 and 51. Tampa, don't discount them. They are just 3 games back and lurking. Good team.
And they really haven't played well all year. Tampa really has not played good baseball consistently all year.
Saunders slices one the other way. 2-out single. Verlander had retired 7 straight before that base hit. Each team now with 3 hits. Josh Wilson. Strike 1 on Wilson. We called him from Tacoma, their AAA team, on the 13th of this month when Beltre went on the DL. Earlier this year with Arizona and San Diego, so he's bounced around. And the runner going. And here comes the throw from Laird, high, not in time.
He picked the perfect pitch to run on. Otherwise, Laird throws him out. He gets breaking ball. He got the breaking ball with a good jump, and there was really no shot for Laird to throw him out.
And you almost have to guess right when you want to try and steal a base against this duo.
Verlander very quick at getting the ball to the catcher. And of course, Laird has been the best thrower as far as catchers in the American League this year. See where Pudge Rodriguez got traded back to where he started his career, the Texas Rangers.
I did.
He's going to back up Teagarden over there. Saltalamacchia got hurt.
I went to look up the numbers on the kid Max Ramirez, who was considered one of their top prospects, a catching prospect. But they brought in the veteran Pudge. Toward left field, Guillen on the charge, not going to get it. He'll play it on one hop. Here comes the throw to the plate, and not in time. A 2-out single by Wilson. Single, stolen base, and a base hit, and Seattle leads 1-0.
The number 8 and the number 9 hitter, respectively. That's another breaking ball that's down. It's off the plate. Wilson broke his bat on the swing, but it's a good read by Saunders. With 2 outs, he was running all the way, and he's got some decent speed. Carlos came up with a decent throw here. Carlos had a decent throw from left field. The first time we've seen him throw since coming off the DL.
Ichiro hits this one a ton, way back into right field and gone. It's a line drive home run for Ichiro Suzuki.
One too many fastballs to Ichiro.
And a quiet inning has turned into a big inning for Seattle. It's a 3-run frame.
He had thrown Suzuki all fastballs all night long and really had overmatched him. That time, Ichiro went up there and was ready for the challenge and got a fastball and pulled it to right field for a 2-run home run. Boy, did he clear his hips out nicely on this pitch. That was a laser.
3-0 Seattle on the 8th home run of the year for Ichiro Suzuki. Brandon, he has struck him out a couple of times. All of this with 2 outs and nobody on. Swing and a miss. Brandon down to the count 0-2 again. Well, they say that Ichiro, if he wanted to, could hit 30 home runs a year. He's got that kind of power. The 0-2 pitch is inside, rolls away from Gerald Laird. 1-2. Branyan struck out in the first, struck out in the third. Verlander 1 strikeout away from 200 for the season. Thought about it, didn't go around. 2-2. Last Tiger to strike out 200 or more in a season, Jeremy Bonderman back in 2006. Struck out 202 that year. And there's number 200 for Verlander. He strikes out Branyan for the 3rd time, 6th for the game. You're watching Tigers baseball tonight on Fox Sports Detroit, presented by Bell Tire. Windows, we can do that. We are the factory. And by BP, help your car run younger for longer. Try BP gasoline with Invigorate. Well, back here at Comerica Park, as we head to the bottom of the 5th inning, Tigers offense has some work to do now. A 2-out rally by Seattle, a 3-run inning. And for Detroit, it'll be Gerald Laird, Ramon Santiago, and Curtis Granderson. Ichiro Suzuki with a 2-run shot. Ian Snell has some runs to work with now. He is pitched out of a couple of jams in this game. Got a big double play ball back in the fourth.
Speaking of 2 outs, the Mariners had a game on Sunday against the Yankees where they scored all 10 of their runs with 2 outs. That's unheard of.
That's impressive. 1-1 on Laird. Don Wakamatsu suffered a tough loss in the ballgame last night. His team was leading late, yet this year they have won 61 games, equaling their entire total from last year.
Don Wakamatsu and I used to own a baseball camp that we used to put on every Thanksgiving in Arizona. And it was a camp that our very first year that we put it on, Andre Ethier, outfielder for the Los Angeles Dodgers, was I think 14 years old. And as soon as both I and Walk laid eyes on him, we both said the same thing. This kid's going to play in the big leagues.
Right at Ichiro for the out. So Ethier, you could tell at age 14.
At age 14, I could tell that he was going to play in the big leagues, and Wakamatsu sensed the same thing.
What was special about him at that point?
Just his swing. He already had some length. He just had a pretty swing. Work ethic was already there. And that's when I really started to realize how smart Don was as far as a baseball guy and computer and putting together programs and putting together the daily routine and all those things, which has led to him having this managerial opportunity here in Seattle. Very well organized.
He's done a bang-up job. Here is Ramon Santiago. Tigers tonight have been limited to just 3 hits. All 3 singles. Polanco has one, Cabrera has one, and Ordonez has the other. Little chopper back to the mound. Santiago is an easy out, 2 gone. It's the second time he's gone right back to Snell.
Tigers will have a opportunity in this game. Snell's pitching well. Yeah, but the Tigers will have an opportunity to get in this game. They've got quite a few outs left. They just need to figure out what Snell is doing out there and bunch together a few hits and put a little stress on him.
Well, the White Sox won today. They beat Kansas City 4-2. Judging by the pitching matchup in that one, you figure KC had a pretty good shot. Greinke and Contreras.
For whatever reason, Greinke does not pitch his best baseball against the White Sox.
They've had his number and they beat him again. Granderson 0 for 2. And the Chicago White Sox move a half game closer courtesy of that win. They can get to 2 if Seattle wins here tonight. They're watching this game with some interest. Granderson lined out to left field his last time up. 0 for 6 in the series. It would behoove the Tigers if they could get Granderson going here, because as Jim Leland says, when he's rolling, we're rolling. Granderson has that effect on the team. Polanco waiting on deck. 3-2 pitch. Again to left field, slicing away from Saunders, but he'll get there. Nice running play. 1-2-3 inning for Snell. 5 in the books. 3-0 Seattle. Puff C. Alex Avila. You can text A, B, or C to 37338. And we will have the final results on Tigers Live after the game. High fly ball hit into shallow left center field. Curtis Granderson coming in. One pitch, and Lopez is out. A big crowd, and apparently a young crowd here tonight. How's it going?
Young Tiger.
It's a great shot.
They say it's college night tonight.
Is it? That little guy is nowhere near college. Here's Griffey. 0 for 2, couple of fly balls. Verlander threads the outside corner, 0-1.
This place is full.
Most nights it is.
On a Wednesday night. A pennant race in downtown Detroit. Some of the best baseball fans in the country.
Griffey fouls it off. 0-2 the count stays. There really haven't been too many in the history of the game that have been unanimous MVPs. Ken Griffey Jr. is one of them. Back in '97, he won the award unanimously and became just the 13th player to do so. The 0-2 is on the ground to the shortstop. Santiago had it played nicely. And Griffey is 0 for 3, 2 gone.
Yeah, Junior, for sure, will be a first ballot Hall of Famer whenever he shuts her down.
Back with a team where it all started in Seattle, playing for the same city that he broke into the big leagues with. Here's Franklin Gutierrez. 3-0 Seattle. They got an RBI single from Josh Wilson and a 2-run homer from Ichiro Suzuki. Gutierrez is 0 for 2 in this game, has a strikeout, and there's a strike from Verlander. 0-2. Day baseball here tomorrow. Final game in the series. Jared Washburn will take on his old teammates against Ryan Roland Smith. It's out to the West Coast as the Tigers go to Oakland and then Anaheim. Swing and a miss, and another strikeout for Verlander. 7 of them in the ball game now. Miguel Cabrera due up third when we go to the bottom of the 6th.
It's time for Coors Light Freeze Cam. I'm going to take you back to the last half inning. You can see Gerald Laird was set up away for the fastball against Ichiro, where they've thrown him fastballs all night long, but he cleared his hips out of the way and somehow got his hands inside that mid-90s fastball and hit a 2-run home run, a laser out to right. Coors Light Freeze Can brought to you by your Frost Brewed Coors Light. He is some kind of player worth the price of admission.
How do you get 200 hits for 9 straight years?
I don't know how you do that.
Because he's about to do it again. Well, let's see if the Tigers can get the bats going here. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning. Ian Snell back to work facing Placido Polanco, and he delivers a strike on the inside corner. Polly, Guillen, and then Cabrera. Singled back in the first, 1 for 2. Tigers have been limited to 3 hits by Ian Snell, who pitched well in his first start after coming over from Pittsburgh. In his last start, though, he gave up 8 runs, 9 hits in 6 innings against the Yankees. Little tapper hit slowly. Going to be a tough play. Hanahan got him by half a step.
It's a nice job by Hanahan cutting in front of Wilson, the shortstop. If you do not get to this ball in your Hanahan, there's no way that Wilson is able to get Polanco running down the line. You see how deep Wilson is? It's a much easier play for the third baseman, simply cutting across the diamond, throwing on the run while all your momentum is still carrying you in that direction.
Carlos Guillen is 0 for 2. Shortens the bunt. Hanahan's not buying it down to third base. He's holding his ground. Off the line at third base. The 1-0. We've seen signs of Carlos is coming back from the disabled list to the guy that the Tigers are hopeful of getting all season long. And then the injury shut him down. A guy that has some power, can drive in some runs. Hitting .291 since coming off the disabled list. And Carlos hit 4 home runs. With the addition of Aubrey Huff to the lineup, Jim Leland has decided to hit Carlos third and Huff fifth. 2-1 is way outside, 3-1.
I don't think Jim really gave a reason for that, but I would think that he kind of likes the speed of Guillen hitting third with Granderson at the top of the batting order versus Huff hitting in that third spot.
Fouled back out of play.
A little easier for Cabrera and Huff to drive in the guys I've already mentioned.
A little wincing there from Guillen. Three-two pitch. Cold foul, and again Guillen wincing one more time.
Surprised Kevin is not up checking on him yet, but I think Kevin Rand will get up and take a peek at him. Jim
talking with Leland right now.
Yeah. Leland doesn't miss much.
Be the 8th pitch coming up in this at bat. And another foul. Carlos just does not look comfortable right now.
Trying to loosen it up. Don't know exactly what it is, but it appears to be something in the lower back area.
Well, I tell you what, he may not be feeling good, but he is giving Snell all he wants. It's going to be the 10th pitch in this at bat coming up. One out, Tigers batting in the 6th in a 3-0 game. Here's another foul. Heading back to the seats. That's a tough break right there for that fan. In and out of his hands. 3-2. Snell trying to put him away. And it's hit in the air to right field and hit well. Back goes Ichiro, and it's gone. And one in at bat for Carlos Guillen. A line drive home run into the first row, and the Tigers are on the board. That is one of the best at-bats of the season.
Usually when you're a hitter and you see as many pitches as Carlos was able to see from Snell, the advantage usually goes way up to the hitter. Take a look at the location here. We talked about Carlos and the fact that he likes the ball down. That's an outstanding swing by Guillen. He gets through it, and he finishes his swing, and he drives it out there. It didn't get much better than that as far as the weight transfer and the balance.
And for Carlos, feeling a little bit better right now. That was his 5th home run of the season. Tigers needed that. Maybe that'll get him jump started. Kevin Rand over to make sure things are okay. Rand initially saw something and ran over to Leland and said, I don't think your boy's right here. We need to keep an eye on him. But it didn't seem to matter in that at bat. 1 ball, 1 strike. Cabrera, single and a walk. Ooh, big rip there by Miguel. 1-2.
That's how the Tigers got started last night in the 8th. And Alex Avila, a home run the opposite way. And then they bunched together a few more base hits, and they took the lead. That last slider by Cabrera was a really good pitch by Snell. Well located, good movement, down and away from a powerful right-handed batter.
Two and two. Tigers now have 4 hits. That is their first extra base hit of the night. Cabrera takes it outside. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Snell is over 90 now in his pitch count. Look at Aubrey Huff waiting on deck. Tigers have worked him for a couple of walks this evening. Getting on the telephone. And some activity perhaps in the Seattle bullpen. Three and 2. 93 is the pitch count for Ian Snell. Driven to the air toward left field. On the move is Saunders, and he'll make the play right in front of the warning track.
Hit that ball right off the end of the bat. If he catches that down a couple of inches down toward the sweet spot, excuse me, he hits this ball out of here. But it's a breaking ball on a 3-2 pitch and right off the end of the bat.
Here's Aubrey Huff. Fly ball and a ground ball, reaching on a fielder's choice in his last at bat. Huff last year with the Orioles drove in 108 runs. And for Aubrey, that was a career high. He's hit the 100 mark several times. There's Sean White tuning up. low. 3-0.
Huff won a Silver Slugger award last year. And you wonder if Jim will green light Huff here as Rick Adair comes out to talk to Snell after falling behind 3 balls, no strikes. And we do know that there are certain guys that Jim will turn loose on this particular count. It's usually the big boys that have a chance of hitting a crippled fastball right down the middle. Was it Cabrera that hit a 3-0 home run recently?
You called it too. I figured he might be swinging. Do you think Leland, when he gets a new player like Huff, might cover that with him? Are you comfortable going 3-0? You'll take all 4 here.
Yeah, I think he probably will just put it on. I mean, they're not making you swing. They're simply just giving you the option to do so. But that day when Cabrera hit his home run, Leland told him to do it. He was telling him to swing. But usually they put the sign on, they give it to you. They have a hunch you're going to get the fastball down the middle. Now, whether you choose to swing or not is totally up to you. This is a good move here by Wakamatsu. Snell has already pitched a pretty good game. He's already thrown 98 pitches. And we talked about the fact he hadn't had a lot of success with the Mariners, so he doesn't want him to lose this game.
So Wallside Windows pitching change. We'll be back to Comerica Park. On 2 men out to run in on the home run by Carlos Guillen, and the new pitcher is on now for Seattle. That would be Sean White.
And White came in the 8th inning in last night's game after Lowe was not able to complete the inning. He's had a nice year as well, as has most of the relief pitchers in Wakamatsu's bullpen. 3.05 earned run average. He's not a strikeout pitcher, as you can see by the number of strikeouts and the amount of innings he's pitched. And he will also walk a few.
Here is Maglio. He's been on base twice. Walk and a single. The tying run at the plate here in the 6th. And he sends a ground ball back up the middle into center field. A base hit. Huff will go to second and stop there, and Ordonez has his second hit.
That is the second seeing eye single that Maglio has gotten tonight.
Just out of the reach of a diving Josh Wilson.
I thought that had fielder's choice written all over it.
Tigers now have 5 hits, each side with 5. It's going to bring up Brandon Inge. Ball 1. Inge tonight with a pop-up and a double play ball.
if Inge is fortunate enough to get a hit into the outfield, there will be a play at home. Huff does not run all that well, and they got defenders that can throw.
Bouncing ball to first base, way off the back. Branyan, he's going to take it himself anyway, and that'll end the inning. Tigers get a run though on the homer by Guillen on her way to the 7th. .31 2/3 innings pitched by pitchers that are 27 years old or younger and have an ERA slightly over 4.
That is not a bad earned run average for the American League. And it's only going to get better with the young starters the Tigers have in Porcello and Verlander and Jackson.
Exciting times indeed, especially when you look at the future and the young arms that this organization has produced over the last couple of years.
Galarraga as well. Washburn is a free agent.
There's Jack Hanahan. He'll start things off in the 7th. Verlander earlier in this game, in fact back in the 5th inning, struck out his 200th hitter of the season.
Verlander's pitch count is in really good shape. He's thrown 82 pitches.
No balls, 2 strikes. This is the first time that Verlander has reached the 200 plateau, and that includes his 18-win season back in 07. Struck out 183 that year.
Not many guys striking out 300 in the season these days, is it?
No.
What Randy Johnson and those cats used to do.
No, you just don't see it that often anymore.
Ryan, Clemens, those horses.
Hanahan is 0 for 2. The 1-2 pitch. By the way, apparently the Mariners have made a deal. They have traded for Milwaukee third baseman Bill Hall in exchange for minor league pitcher Ruben Flores. And Paz. No, Paz stays in Detroit. Don't worry.
Yeah, Bill Hall kind of fell out of favor in Milwaukee after having a couple of really good years there. And I guess they designated him for assignment a few days ago. And Jack Terrence, the general manager of Seattle, continues to stockpile talent.
Meanwhile, that's the 8th strikeout for Verlander.
And backdoor variety here with the breaking ball. He starts it off the plate. Hanahan gives up on it. Laird has a nice, firm, steady glove. And Vanover buys it. You're selling, I'm buying.
Here's Jojima. Verlander's been doing a lot of selling tonight. He's headed to another double-digit strikeout game. He needs 2 more. Justin this year has had 5 games of 11 or more strikeouts, 5 of them. And twice he struck out 13. 1-1. Justin at 13-6 coming in was gunning for his 14th win.
That was a slider right there. We told you earlier that Verlander is working on a new pitch, and anytime you see a pitch in that 87 to 89 mile per hour range with a little tilt to it, that's the new Verlander slider.
The hook drops in nicely, 2-2.
So he's got the fastball that he can reach triple digits with. That curveball right there, nice fading changeup, and an occasional slider.
What's next?
He doesn't need anything else.
No. No, he really doesn't.
He is really starting to learn how to pitch too. Like that Boston game we talked about, where he just continued to elevate the fastball because they kept swinging at him.
Full count on Kenji Jojima. Fastball away. Oh, way high. Lost him. Didn't want to do that. 98 miles an hour, but way out of the strike zone. So Verlander has issued his first walk of the game. 1 on, 1 out. That'll bring up Michael Saunders, who singled and started that 3-run rally in the 5th inning with 2 outs. He singled, stole a base, scored on a hit. And then Ichiro homered. Way outside, 1-0. Just a little out of whack right now in his last couple of pitches. Skied in the air toward left, shallow left field. Carlos coming on. And Jojima retreats. There are 2 gone. It's going to bring up Josh Wilson. The number 9 hitter tonight has 2 hits, an RBI and a run scored.
He had a couple knocks last night too.
Big home run.
Yes.
He's acquitting himself quite well in this series. Checked it up high. He did not go. Action of the Tigers pen. Ryan Perry was really good last night. He's warming up along with Fute Ni. Swing and a miss, threw it by him. 1-1. Wilson has played with Florida, Washington, Arizona, San Diego over in the National League. Tampa in the American League along with Seattle.
That's a lot of teams.
A ton of them. This is the 100th pitch coming up for Mr. Verlander. And he missed with it. 2-2.
And pitch by inning. And 22 in the 3rd. And that's really not all that bad.
Got him looking, frozen. And another strikeout for Verlander, his 9th of the evening. We go to the stretch. 3-1 Seattle. Top by a score 3-1 as we go to the bottom of the seventh. Ichiro, big 2-run homer in the fifth. Carlos is homer tonight for the Tigers. Verlander, 9 strikeouts. He's reached the 200 plateau this year. But for Seattle, the fifth inning was their big inning.
Well, it was the bottom of their batting order as well. It was Saunders that leads off with a hit the opposite way. And then he's able to steal second base, and he comes home on a breaking ball that Wilson was able to just get enough of to get it in front again. Then Ichiro looking for a fastball, which is what he had gotten all day long. And he hit a laser out to right.
That home run for Ichiro was his 8th of the year. It's a big one. It's the difference right now, 3-1 as we go to the bottom of the seventh. And first pitch from Sean White is down low to Gerald Laird. Laird, then Santiago, and then Granderson. Tigers 5 hits. Seattle 5 hits. 1 ball, 1 strike. Laird 0 for 2. He has hit the ball in the air twice the other way. Here's the 1-1. Chop to the shortstop. Wilson throws him out. 1 gone.
Hey fans, take advantage of the August double play when the Tigers host the Tampa Bay Rays on Monday, August 31st at 105. Get 2 upper box seats for only $29 or 2 lower box seats for just $49. It's a savings of $15. Call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com.
Here's Santiago with 1 out. 0 for 2 for Ramon. A couple of groundouts. Both times against Snell, right back to the mound. Santiago came into this game batting a robust .325 here at Comerica Park. Takes a breaking ball, snaps it to short, and Wilson is there for that one. There are 2 gone. Top of the order now, Curtis Granderson. Well, the Tigers got to the Seattle bullpen last night. They've got more activity now. Sean Kelly. But by and large, that Seattle pen has been good.
Especially the back end of that bullpen with Lowe and Ardsman, who they did not get to last night because Lowe failed to do his job in the 8th.
Randy takes a fastball, strike 1.
And last couple of times up, Granderson has lined out to the left, which is a sign of a player starting to come out of it a little bit. When you start to see pitches, take some pitches, you get a walk here or there. And for a left-handed pull hitter to hit a couple of balls the opposite way tells me Granderson's working on some things.
1-2. Well, sooner the better for the Tigers for Curtis Granderson. He has 23 home runs this year. Swing and a miss. Down he goes.
Change pace.
Tigers go 1-2-3. And we'll head to the 8th. Ichiro will lead it off. Inning in a 3-1 ball game. Seattle on top of Detroit here in game 2 in the series. And for Seattle, it'll be the top of the order. It'll be Ichiro and then Russell Brandon and Jose Lopez. Verlander tonight, that 3-run fifth, that's all he's given up. He has struck out 9 batters. In fact, he's gotten Ichiro once. That was back in the first. But Ichiro has the biggest hit of the game, a 2-run shot in the 5th. Here's the 1-0. 1 ball and 1 strike.
It's the second consecutive start where the velocity of Verlander's fastball has been 95 and above the majority of the game. And you can see the highest speed and ranges of pitches recorded in this ball game.
Santiago not going to be able to make the play, and Ichiro is aboard,
which is amazing. I don't think he gets Ichiro at first base anyway because Ichiro runs so well, but by that ball hitting the second base bag as Santiago was getting ready to field, it kind of threw him off a little bit. He had to reach back for that baseball and therefore didn't field it cleanly. This ball is going to hit the bag right now, and it just kind of trickles in, and then he has to catch it behind him instead of out in front of him where he may have had a shot at Ichiro, but he probably wouldn't have got him.
It is ruled a base hit, which gives Ichiro another multiple hit game. He has had 60 multiple hit games this year, most in the majors, not just the American League, but the major leagues.
Verlander will pay special attention to Ichiro over at first.
Russell Brandon has struck out 3 times against Verlander. It's like going up there with 3 strikeouts in your back pocket, and you know if you get the 4th, boy, that's a tough night.
If you just foul off a pitch, you'll take that right now. I fouled him off.
It's progress. Good pickup down there by Cabrera.
And I'm speaking from experience. I've been there. You'll take a ground out. You'll take whatever. At least I put it in play. But how about the velocity of those pitches by Verlander the last 2 games?
Stunning.
Unbelievable.
Not tonight. 94 was his lowest in a given inning. The rest of them upper 90s. Strike called. 1-1 on Brandon.
I was reading an article last week, I believe, and John Lowe had it. And John Lowe had a lengthy conversation with Nolan Ryan when the Tigers were in Texas at the end of July, and Verlander pitched one night against Texas, got his 12th win, and he struck out 13 Texas Rangers. Nolan Ryan said that was the most impressive pitching performance he had seen that year, and he had nothing but high praise for Verlander.
And on top of that, after Verlander shut out the Boston Red Sox, Terry Francona said after that start, a couple of days later actually, that he would pay to see Verlander pitch. That's how much he thought he was such a dominant pitcher, and how he enjoyed watching him. Obviously didn't enjoy watching him beat his team, but high praise. Brandon Lyon warming up. Swing and a miss. How about that? 10 strikeouts for Verlander. He has gotten Branyan 4 times.
That's the sombrero. 4 of those bad boys, and they've been on fastballs too. You know you're going to get the fastball. You see it come out of his hand. It's a straight fastball, 4-seam variety, and you just can't catch up to it. Verlander is starting to master that art of elevating that fastball right around the belt buckle, which is tough to get to in that velocity range.
Verlander has had at least 1 strikeout in every inning except the 4th tonight. Aglio makes the play in the fly ball by Lopez, and there are 2 gone. Here's Ken Griffey Jr. Griff 0 for 3. Ground ball back in the 6th inning. So Verlander now has had, let's see, 6 games of double-digit strikeouts this year. Keeps on adding to his league high in that category.
And something else that's very important about this inning, at least up until this point, Ichiro has not attempted to run on this combination of Verlander and Laird. His feet are so quick.
That was close.
That's why it's tough to get a good jump on Verlander. Verlander thought he had it. Perfect throw.
Pulled foul. Griffey is 0 for 6 so far in the series against Tigers pitching. Again a close play. Ichiro diving back in. One and two on Ken Griffey Jr. He had back-to-back 56 home run seasons in '97, the year he was the MVP, and then again the next year in '98. How do you get to better than 600 home runs? Well, obviously you have to have a boatload of talent, which Griffey possesses, but he also started his big league career at the age of 19.
Had he not had all the injury problems he had in Cincinnati, Griffey would have well over 700 home runs right now, and we may be talking about him being the home run champion, not Bonds.
I would agree.
He was well on his way to breaking Hank Aaron's record.
One and two.
If he elevates the fastball here, he might get Griff to swing through one. Tried the breaking ball.
Popped him up. Left side of the infield. Inge to foul ground. And that is that. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th inning. 2, 3, 4 coming up. Polanco, Guillen, and Cabrera. At the official online shop of the Detroit Tigers at Tigers.com, you can browse the largest selection of authentic Tigers gear. It includes clubhouse caps, of course, t-shirts, jerseys, sweatshirts, and a whole lot more. Get your Tigers gear straight from the source, the Tigers.com shop. So Verlander, outstanding tonight, 10 strikeouts, 8 innings, 3 earned runs. 204 strikeouts now this season. Tigers got to get the offense going quickly now. They're running out of time as Polanco leads it off. And Mark Lowe is the new pitcher.
And Lowe took the loss in last night's game, but managers love to, whenever they have a chance to, when one of their relievers, especially late in the game, when they have trouble one night, they try to get them right back out there as soon as they possibly can, and that's exactly what Wakamatsu is doing here, and Lowe has been his 8th inning guy all year long. I believe he comes in with 20 holds, getting the ball to David Arjuna, their closer.
It's been a pretty good combo. Chopper to the shortstop. Wilson charging this one. One gone.
Well, this is what the 8th inning looked like in last night's game. First, it was Alex Avila just trying to get on base, and he plays long ball. Great at bat by Santiago with a single. Then after the sacks were full, it was Cabrera coming up with a huge base hit. And then you had this play. Cabrera was picked off. Rayburn took off as Branyan had all his momentum going towards second. Therefore, very tough for Branyan to stop on a dime and come home with that play. And Rayburn stole home.
Here's Carlos Guillen. And say what you will about that play, and even though in the end they didn't need the run, based on what the score said, it was big because Seattle put a couple of guys on in that 9th inning.
And then it would have been a little bit more stressful for Fernando. That was just a nice break there by Rayburn. When you get in that situation and you're on third base, you've got the third base coach kind of whispering in your ear, but it's an instinct play.
Lowe pours in a fastball, and now it's 0-2 on Carlos Guillen.
As soon as Rayburn saw Branyan with a little bit more effort trying to get Cabrera out, he broke for home, and he was safe.
Carlos had the home run in his last at bat, putting the Tigers on the board to make it 3-1.
Lowe could not get his fastball down last night. He's been able to do that here in the few pitches he's already thrown.
Pulled foul right by Andy Van Slyke. 0-2. Well, Verlander doing his part tonight. That 3-run fifth is all that Seattle has been able to get, and their pitching has done the rest, holding the Tigers to 1 run on 5 hits. Strike called. Guillen didn't like it, but he's out of there. He's punched out by Larry Vanover. 2 gone. What do we got going on tomorrow?
We got Jared Washburn and Ryan Roland Smith at 1 p.m. on Fox Sports Detroit and in HD, of course. Washburn was sensational in his last start. Pitched 8 innings, did not get the win. And Roland Smith comes in 2-1 with a 3.60 run average. And of course, Tigers baseball always presented by Bell Tire.
Fouled away by Cabrera. 0-1 on Miguel with 2 outs here in the 8th. Tigers down by 2. Single and a walk for Cabrera. He's hit safely in his last 4. Miguel had a 17-game hitting streak in the month of July. He's been really good since the break.
Lowe came in throwing all fastballs in last night's game. They were straight fastballs, but they were hard. They were firm. Tigers got quite a few hits off of him. He's throwing some secondary pitches here tonight.
Wind is really starting to pick up now.
Blowing in.
Swing and a miss. Cabrera is out on strikes. 1-2-3 inning for Lowe. Gutierrez, Hanahan, Jojima coming up. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered. Well, as we go now to the ninth inning, Brandon Lyon will be checking in for the Tigers.
Last 27 outings for Lyon, 5-1 record with an earned run average that .77 with 29 strikeouts.
Lights out.
Really good.
Franklin Gutierrez leads it off for Seattle. They're looking for some insurance runs here. Gutierrez, Hanahan, and Jojima. Tipped it into the glove for strike one on Franklin Gutierrez. He's 0 for 3. Here's Lyons' 0-1 pitch. Make it 0-2 on Gutierrez. 0 for 6 in the series against Detroit pitching. Tigers pitching, by the way, has recorded 21 strikeouts so far in the first 2 games in the series. Verlander had 10 tonight. There was 11 total last night. Wouldn't chase the breaking ball. 1-2. Grounded foul. It's going to be a somewhat emotional day for Jared Washburn tomorrow, making a start against his former teammates. Wasn't too long ago, just a couple of weeks, that he was wearing Seattle colors. He had been there a few years and certainly made a lot of friends and very close to his teammates, but he'll be opposing them tomorrow.
I'm sure Jared knows some of the tendencies, strengths, and weaknesses of the Seattle hitters, and I'm sure they have a pretty good scouting report on him as well. So it's going to be one of those games where there's going to need to be some execution.
And the first 4 starts for Washburn, his new team, have all come at home. Tipped away by Gutierrez. 2-2 the count stays.
And the funny thing about that is when he goes on the road, his first start on the road will be in Los Angeles against a team where he got his big league start with the Angels.
Again, the 2-2. Now Phillip 3-2 on Franklin Gutierrez. Final West Coast swing of the season for Detroit. Oakland and Anaheim. Swing and a miss. He finally dusts him off, and Gutierrez fans for the 3rd time tonight.
Did you see that stat that Carolyn Rosinski sent us via email today, where it said the entire batting order of the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, when the game ended last night, every single batter was hitting 300 or above?
Amazing. Yeah, I read that and thought it can't be true, but it is. And that's, in a nutshell, how the Angels have been playing the way they've been playing, because their pitching's been banged up this year.
Every single batter. And we're talking about everyday players, and this is mid-August. Every player was 300 or better.
Well, the Tigers will see that lineup on the coming road trip.
And as you can imagine, that's something that doesn't happen that often, especially this late. Something like 1920s or something like that.
Is that right?
Yeah, it was way back there. So thank you, Carolyn.
Now the 2-1 pitch. Into center field, shallow, and it's going to drop. Base hit. Off the end of the bat, Hanahan has his first hit tonight. 1 on, 1 out. Shattered the bat. It'll bring up Kenji Jojima. Single and a walk tonight for Jojima. High pop up left side of the infield. Inge coming to foul ground. You can see that wind is playing with him. Man, it is a strong wind here late in the game. He had to circle that thing. A little glory out there in left center field, blowing straight in. There's Michael Saunders. Strike 1 on Saunders. He has a single, a steal, and a run score. There's the closer, David Aardsma.
Before this season, he had not recorded one save. Not a one.
Well, much different this year. Aardsma comes in with the score here. Will be trying to protect a 2-run lead. 27 saves.
It's amazing what a change of scenery will do for you. Aardsma last year in Boston had an earned run average over 5, and he pitched quite a few innings. Now he is the closer of the Seattle Mariners.
And 5th in the American League in saves. realize with all of the hullabaloo that was made about K-Rod going over to the National League and the Mets, Brian Fuentes of the Angels leads the American League in saves with 35.
They win a lot of games. He gets a lot of opportunities. Not to discredit what he has done, because Fuentes is a solid big league pitcher. But the Angels, they win a lot of games.
See if this hangs up long enough. Maglio can't get there. It'll be a base hit. Saunders has his second hit. 2 on, 2 out. He's going to keep it going for Josh Wilson.
As a matter of fact, the only team in baseball that has won more games than the Angels, those Yankees.
That's it.
And those are the only 2 teams that play halfway decent away from their own ballparks, too. The road doesn't bother those 2 teams.
Wilson now with 2 outs. 3-1 ball game. Seattle looking to add. Lyon missing low, 1-0. Angels are 13 over on the road this year. Swing and a miss, 1-1. Big series for Wilson. 2 hits last night, 2 more tonight. And an RBI this evening as well. Here is Lyons' 1-1 pitch. Right down the middle it comes. 1-2. Tigers in the 9th inning will have Huff, Ordonez, and Inge against Ardsma. Newest Tiger will try and get it going. Fouled straight back. Swing and a miss. He chased out of the strike zone, and that is that for Seattle. They'll leave a couple. Huff, Ordonez, Inge due up in the bottom of the 9th. If the Tigers can come up with something here in their last chance, they're going to have to do it against David Ardsma and a team that has put together some really good pitching numbers this year, Seattle.
They're not that far away from competing in their division, and they're already competing in their division. They're in the wild card conversation, are the Mariners. And it starts with pitching, pitching, pitching. 27 saves this year for Arzma. He has blown 3. 63 strikeouts in 54 innings pitched. And he gets it done majority fastballs as well. He comes right after you.
Aubrey Huff looks at a first pitch fastball strike. Huff and then Ordonez and then Inge. Bouncing ball to second base. Routine for Lopez and one gone. So the all-important leadoff man is kept off the bases. Tigers put the leadoff man on twice in the ballgame tonight. Their only run coming in the 6th inning on the Guillen home run. Here's Maglio. Way high, 1-0. Not kidding, man. Arzma just comes right at you. Threw that one right by Maglio. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Here it is, hit it.
He's pitched with both Chicago teams, the Cubs and the White Sox. Boston last year, and there's a strike. One and 2. Breaking ball to get ahead. Checked it. Did he go? Did not. Dan Iasonia down at first base. Seattle 3, Tigers 1. We're in the bottom of the 9th. Ian Snell started this one and was good tonight for Seattle. Arzma trying to close it out. The 2-2 is down the right field line, foul. 96 miles an hour. It's almost odd these days if you don't have a guy at the back end of your pen or closing games that doesn't throw 96, 97.
In some of your better teams, their bullpens, they've got a guy in the 7th that's mid-90s, 8th mid-90s, and closers that are in that same range.
Two on Ordonez. All the Tigers need is a base hit right here to bring the tying run to the plate. Arzma was originally drafted by San Francisco, got to the big leagues with the Giants briefly in 04, just 1 year after he was drafted.
Marcus Thames and Alex Avila both have bats in their hands just in case Jim wants to use one of them.
3-2. Little looper into center. It's going to drop. Base hit. Ordonez has his 3rd hit of the night. Maglio giving the Tigers some hope. Ryan Rayburn coming on. He's going to pinch run for Ordonez.
Good night for Maglio.
Ordonez gets the high 5. That'll bring the tying run to the plate. Brandon Inge. Ball 1. It's the 6th Tigers hit of the game, and Ordonez has half of them.
Well, Brandon's going to get a pretty good fastball to hit right here from Arjuna. And if he doesn't get the fastball, simply take it. But get ready to hit it.
Avila has moved to the on-deck circle, with Laird due up next. Now Jojima out to the mound. Arjuna got a quick out, getting Huff to bounce out, but Ordonez worked him and then finally blooped a single into right center field. It hasn't been easy the last two nights for Don Wakamatsu.
No, he watched that one get away last night after they were leading going into the eighth.
Two and one on Brandon Inge. Brandon is 0 for 3 in this game. Bunch of rally caps down there.
She got her Chuck Taylor Converse on too. Old school.
The 2-1 is fouled back. 2 and 2.
Did you have a pair of those?
I never had a pair of those.
You never had a pair of Chuck Taylors?
No.
I had black ones, green ones, red ones, white ones.
Really?
Oh, for sure.
Did you ever mix them up?
No, never did that. I mix up the shoestrings though. Put colored shoestrings in them.
Nice. Swing and a miss. He blows away in. So that's a big strikeout for Arjuna.
He fell behind Brandon, 2 balls, no strikes. Jojima paid him a visit and he came back with 3 good fastballs. The last one was probably a ball, but when a guy throws as hard as Arjuna, there's not a whole lot of time to be deciding whether it's a strike or a ball, if it's close.
Alex Avila, last chance here for the Tigers with 2 gone. He's pinch hitting for Gerald Laird, and he takes strike 1.
I've been kind of impressed with his last couple of hits, and one goes all the way back to that Wednesday night game in Boston where he doubled off the monster in left field off Beckett, a hard thrower. And then Lowe last night, a real good fastball as well, and Avila timed him perfectly, and he didn't try to pull him. He simply let Lowe supply most of the power, and he took him oppo.
Had a big rip there, and now the count is 0-2.
He's got some hand quickness.
Alex off to a terrific start in his big league career, .450 average. He's hit 3 homers, knocked in 7. And that's just in 7 games. High and away, 1-2. Now 2 balls, 2 strikes. Avila has gotten the counts squared now. Arjuna came in, got an out, gave up a single, then struck out Inge. And now working on the pinch hitter Avila. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. And Seattle wins game 2 in the series. Well, this is more of the bullpen that we expected out of them. Pretty good effort tonight out of that Seattle pen.
It's a good win for Seattle. Yeah, Verlander had just a couple of pitches